In our reality, only God can create something out of nothing. Atoms and particles. But the Bible tells us we can move the pieces, anything made of atoms or particles, around, by faith, and that affects our reality. And the reason I say, our reality, is when we revisit memories of past hurt or trauma, we feel it again. Our nervous system literally reacts just like it did when it first happened. That feeling only directly affects us. However, our emotions also get triggered, and once we interact with other people, can create new reality between both people. Quantum mechanics says we send a signal from our quantum field to someone or something's quantum field, and that sent signal contains instructions that reality itself must obey. The instructions, signal, is the cumulative of our entire life experiences, all hurt, trauma, joy, happiness, everything that has ever happened to us. Then shaped by what our brain keeps molding and forming every time it revisits a thought. Every thought, experience, every moment of our life, all of these things wrap into one deep truth. Our expectation. Our faith, belief. Which is totally different from our hopes, dream aspirations, or even what we really want. Only children expect those things to change reality. 1 Corinthians 13:11. I think where people get hung up on reality changing is they think it means you're gonna just snap your fingers and everything's gonna change without putting in the work. Like it's cheating or something, it's a shortcut, therefore God can't allow it. Nothing is further from the truth. We are constantly putting the work in to create our reality. Every thought, word, or deed we do goes into creating our reality. We just unfortunately. So parents, stop partnering with the enemy to train up your children. Did I miss the sermon where Jesus said to make sure to bully or shame your children into doing what you want them to do? They are human beings, just like us, only a smaller version. So when we get lazy, the devil tricks us into believing that's okay and will give the results you want. The devil has been around so long, he knows all the tricks to fool spiritually weak humans. He has created so many distractions over the years, we don't even realize which reality is true anymore. The Bible spells it out, what we already have. But the devil tricks us into accepting his version of reality. So parents keep doing this until the kid is either big enough to stop you or move out. Then the parent wonders why the child don't want to be around them unless they have to or want something. All because you are too fearful or even too lazy to introduce them to Jesus and instead rely on everyone else to. Where's the work in that? And what does the Bible say about that? How much faster would it work if we introduced our children to God and let God tell them what He says about them and what He wants them to do? If we really want to help our kids, stop letting our expectations get in their way. Why? Every single moment we do or say something that triggers our conscience to send a signal from our quantum field to other quantum fields with a specific set of instructions that then starts to send other signals to other quantum fields to start to create reality by drawing the appropriate people and situations, quantum entanglement, to develop to enable what we are expecting to happen, to be able to happen. And science has proven this hundreds of times, they just don't apply it to the human brain. However, the Bible does. Faith and quantum mechanics say the exact same thing. Everything is possible until you observe and believe something. This is almost the literal definition for both. Another way to possibly say it as a Christian version is: everything is connected by God's law, and whatever His Word says is the very foundation of all truth. And our expectations are also truth. So each believer, deep down inside, way inside our conscience, exists our own truth, expectations. Think about it, what you expect can't not happen, or you wouldn't expect it. And we can't argue with it, or fool it, it just is. If you change truth, it becomes a lie. So truth is unchangeable. The devil is the great counterfeit, the deceiver, so all he can do is trick us into believing a lie, which forms our expectations, which then becomes our reality. Isn't that what truth is? It just is. Wow, I wonder if that's what Jesus means when He says, I am the way, the truth, the life. The truth part. Our expectations, the thing which literally forms our reality. God sent Jesus to show us the way, how everything works. Jesus is our example of what we're supposed to do. Drawing towards this is the life part. He has come to give us life, and life more abundantly. Everything is all spelled out word for word in the Bible. All we have to do is simply believe what it actually says, and not a watered-down version we've come to expect, because we are afraid God will fail, or most likely, we believe we are not worthy. We also need to quit relying on what people have said when they couldn't answer something from the Bible. Those things make it harder to believe, because our everyday experience, the very thing that creates our patterns, then that forms our expectation. Just substitute the word expectation for the word reality. This must be why Jesus said we must have the faith as a child. While we actually don't need to try to create or grow our faith, we just need to get rid of all the false beliefs that we have picked up over our lives and came to believe, which makes up what we expect, which makes up our reality. But the good news. And isn't this better than trying to make someone repeat a phrase or memorize a verse? Verses are our instructions, not the way. Jesus is the way. Once we step in as God's adopted son or daughter, every promise of the Bible is instantly given. We don't have to ask for it, it's a gift. Isn't that good news? But what we do have to do is to stop letting our past hurts, pains, and traumas from creating expectations, which creates reality, and that blocks us from being able to receive God's promises. They may be promises, but we still have to accept them. Which, by the way, they are promises. Not beggar's chance. The very act of asking God for something shows deep down you don't expect it will happen, or you wouldn't be asking Him. Luckily, grace is possible. This is what the Bible says about prayer. Matt 6:11. The Lord's Prayer. Look up the Greek version in concordance and see if this is what you come up with too. Basically, today, help me prepare to do and say the necessary things, form and create tomorrow's promises. Renew our minds. P.S. Since I have been paying attention to this, I have been noticing shifts in my reality. They don't appear like a big event, there's no lights flashing. It just feels like every other day, or minute, but the outcome is different. And the main common denominator is my expectations have changed. Which isn't easy, because how can you convince yourself of something you don't believe? The answer is, you don't. You have to trust God, and fear, guilt, and shame can affect that. This is how we actually walk as sons and daughters of God. Also, repenting is actually an inner shift in perspective, with a physical change in direction. If someone writes on a piece of paper, "I'm sorry" 100 times, did anything actually change? We have to stop doing AMD saying things that cause conflict. Erase the litmus test of all tests. In whatever being said or done, if it's from fear, guilt, or shame, it is from the devil. If it's from love, it's from God. Pretty simple. The best way to ensure something is going to be successful, ask yourself which kingdom is at work in this situation. A big way I started to change my expectations was letting go of what I wanted or thought was supposed to happen. Think about it, if because I have formed expectations the past 56 years, and every time I observe something, my expectations literally collapse all other possibilities and create the reality my conscience expects to happen. Isn't that literally what every story of the Bible is saying? And is literally the very definition of quantum entanglement. The way forward, first, was by honestly looking at anything and everything in my life that was causing fear or anxiety in my life, and anything causing dis-ease in my life. Then asking God how to get rid of it, then actually doing what was necessary to get rid of it, which involved making better choices to not get in the situations that cause fear, guilt, or shame. Once all that was gone, I no longer needed to self-protect and self-promote. I was actually able to be other-focused.